So, Hare Krishna. Today we are reading 4.27, chapter 4, shlok number 27. And Hare Krishna is continuing. So, from shlok number 25, Krishna is talking about how people offer sacrifice or how the living beings actually go back to God. And there's various methods, right? There are various methods, and Krishna is saying all of this because at the end of this, once this ends, right, we will understand why. So in 4.25, Krishna said that some yogis perfectly worship the demigods by offering different sacrifices to them, and some of them offer sacrifices in the fire of the supreme Brahman, right? So if you remember, and then in 4.26, Krishna said that some unadulterated brahmacharis sacrifice the hearing process and the senses in the fire of mental control, right? So there is a havan, and in that they're sacrificing, they are hearing to where they're only listening to everything about Krishna. They're only talking about everything about Krishna, right? Because that's the level they have reached. They're always in the mode of goodness. All they want to hear, everywhere they hear, it's all about Krishna, the glories of Krishna, pastimes of Krishna. They just hear all about Krishna. So they sacrifice not hearing about anything else material. They just want to hear about Krishna, right? And then the others, the regulated householders, the grahasthas, right, sacrifice the object of the senses in the fire of the senses. So the yagya, in the havan, in the fire, they are putting their senses because everything they're doing is for the pleasure of Guru and Krishna, not for their own sense gratification. And in 4.27, Krishna continues that others who are interested in achieving self realization through control of the mind and senses offer the functions of all the senses and of the life breath as oblations into the fire of the controlled mind. Right? So, others, the yogis, all of them who are meditating, what are they actually doing in the meditation? They're controlling their breath. Today, if you download any apps for meditation, for yoga or anything, first thing they tell you is to be mindful and control your breath. Right? And over here, that's what Krishna is saying, that there are some people who are interested in achieving self-realization. But remember, all of these processes that Krishna is describing, it is it is very hard. Not everyone can do this. The simple recommended solution in the Kali Yuga is to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Right? Because imagine they're controlling the mind and the senses. How? And the life of breath through their breath. And they're offering their breath into the yagya, right? But what are the devotees of Krishna doing? They offer their sleep, where Krishna, I am waking up early to chant your name. In fact, the Harinam Yagya, it is called, the chanting is one of the biggest yagyas in the Kali Yuga. Right? So over here, Krishna is talking about how people control their breath and go through yoga, right? All of the different types of yoga and breathing and meditation to achieve self-realization. But in that self-realization, right, they do not understand that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. So what good is this? Right? And then in text 28, Krishna continues that having accepted strict vows, some become enlightened by sacrificing their possessions, and others by performing severe austerities by practicing the yoga of eightfold mysticism, or by studying the Vedas to advance in the transcendental knowledge. So people are sacrificing, they're accepting strict vows, they're sacrificing all of their possessions, they're giving up everything. And then they perform such severe austerities. Today we cannot even sacrifice our sleep and to get up early in the morning. So then what to talk of performing severe austerities? Right? How Dhruv Maharaj had performed in the forest. chanting Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. It got to the point where he was breathing only once a month. He was not eating anything. Right? And what was he doing? What was the reason for him doing all that? Please the Supreme Lord to get his darshan. And yes, he also wanted his father's kingdom. He wanted a kingdom bigger than his father or his grandfather. Right? And Krishna gave that to him too. When he had darshan of the Lord, after all of that meditation, after all of that severe austerities, right? He personally tells Krishna that I do not want anything. I have realized that after having your darshan, that what I was asking for was broken pieces of glass, and you are a diamond. Right? So Dhruv Maharaj, that 5-year-old boy, compared a kingdom greater than his father's also or his grandfather to broken pieces of glass. Not even a mirror that is good or a glass that is fully in shape but broken. It is of no use. In fact, if somebody holds it the wrong way, they will get cut. Right? So all of these are ways to advance in the transcendental knowledge or to achieve self-realization. But even greater than this is understanding that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and that in the Kali Yuga, chanting is the only recommended method. Right? And then in text 29, Krishna continues, but still others who are inclined to the process of breath restraint to remain in trance practice by offering the movement of the outgoing breath into the incoming and incoming breath into the outgoing, and thus at last they remain in trance, stopping all breathing. Others, curtailing the eating process, offer the outgoing breath into itself as a sacrifice. Again, these are more deeper and higher level sacrifices that the yogis, the mystics are doing. Just imagine that they are so self-realized that they're always in trance. How they're controlling their breath so much that they're incoming and they're outgoing, right, are merging together. How is that even possible? And then others are curtailing the eating process, offer the outgoing breath into the sacrifice, into itself. So they're offering the outgoing breath into the air as the sacrifice. It takes very long time to even get to this level of breathing, of practicing yoga, of practicing meditation, that it takes years for us to even get there. And in the Kali Yuga, our spiritual master has given us the ability to achieve the same results, if not better results, than all of these processes that are described. How? Simply by chanting, having darshan of the Lord, listening to Harikatha, right? Eating the Mahaprasad. Right? That's it. And offering seva to the devotees of the Lord, to the lordships. In 30, Krishna is continuing that all these performers, right, who know the meaning of sacrifice, become cleansed of sinful reactions, and having tasted the nectar of the results of their sacrifice, they advance towards the supreme eternal atmosphere. Krishna is not talking about just one, he's talking about all of these. Right? Once they taste the nectar of what they have sacrificed, as the result, once they taste the nectar as the results of what they have sacrificed, they start advancing to the higher planets. They start advancing towards the eternal, supreme atmosphere. Right? And from this, we learn about sacrifice, how important it is to perform these sacrifices so that we can start moving towards that eternal spiritual atmosphere. Today, if someone doesn't invite us somewhere, someone doesn't talk to us nicely, someone doesn't tell us anything, right? We start getting disturbed. Our whole day gets ruined. What is the use of all of that? But we all know when you start walking towards Krishna, that there will be some of the relations, some of the friendships, they will go away because not everyone will understand this. Right? Not everyone will understand this. With the mercy of Guru and Krishna, they have given us this knowledge in this lifetime that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We have received this human body to get out of this cycle of birth and death. And the human life, this human birth, is our last chance. Otherwise, then we go back into the cycle of birth and death. Let us make the most of this. In text 31, right, Krishna continues, "O best of the Kuru dynasty," he's telling Arjuna, "without sacrifice, one can never live happily on this planet or in this life. What then of the next?" So, fasting for Ekadashi is a sacrifice where we're not eating grains. Some people get headaches. Some people have to go to work. Some people have to do so many things. Some people fast Nirjal for Ekadashi without even drinking water. People chant extra rounds. Why is that? All of these sacrifices are so that we can start elevating towards that spiritual planet atmosphere. Just to cleanse all the dirt that we have accumulated birth after birth. Cheto darpana marjanam. Right? It is to cleanse the heart of all the dust accumulated for births. Just like when you have a mirror, they show this in the movies also, that when there's a house that's been shut for 30, 40, 50 years, right? There's dust that accumulates on the mirror. So if you can go there, you wipe your hand, or they show that somebody puts their hands, literally there's like a few centimeters or of dust on there. So our heart is the same way. It has been in many, many births, not understanding about Krishna, not knowing about Krishna, not remembering Krishna. So all that dust which is accumulated, which will be so thick through all of these sacrifices, starts getting wiped little by little by little by little. Right? Even when we have to clean a dirty mirror that hasn't been cleaned for a very long time, that has dust, we have to use 2, 3, 4 napkins to get everything off correctly. We keep spraying more Windex. The more Windex we spray, sometimes it gets stuck more. But then you have to wipe it, and again you use water and you keep wiping it. So it takes 4 or 5 napkins to clean, or paper towels to clean that dust. In the same way, it takes a lot of sacrifices, a lot of chanting to clean that dust which is accumulated on our hearts, so that our hearts become pure or full of love for Krishna. Right? So Krishna is saying that all these different types of sacrifices are approved by the Vedas, and all of them are born of different types of work. Knowing them as such, you will become liberated. So this is talking about that the fruitive activities, because all of the Vedas are approved, right, for all of these fruitive activities. And you will become liberated if you perform them, with full heart, with full knowledge, with full devotion. Right? But becoming liberated was one thing, and going back to that supreme abode is another. So in this today we're going a little bit faster on the shlokas, because tomorrow we will cover one of the important shlokas from Balram Jayanti, which is on Friday. So in 4.33, Krishna says that, "O chastiser of the enemy, the sacrifice performed in knowledge is better than mere sacrifice of material possession. After all, O son of Pritha, all sacrifices of work culminate in transcendental knowledge." So whatever sacrifices we are performing, right, with the knowledge, whether it's from the Vedas, it's from the Shastras, like the Ekadashi fast, right? We are reading That Ekadashi is so dear to Krishna that Krishna becomes pleased when we fast. So we have that knowledge. That's why we start fasting, right? So fasting in that knowledge is better than mere sacrifice of material possessions. You know, the Jewish people, every Friday night to Saturday night, that whole day of Saturday from Friday night onwards, they give up everything. They do not cook anything. They eat food that is cooked before that Friday evening. They cook for their Friday night, for Saturday morning, Saturday evening, and they do not use their phones. They do not make any phone calls. They try not to fly during that time, right? Because that is their way of religion, because it is said that God created the world in 6 days and he relaxed on the seventh. It is said in their Bible. So they also take inspiration from that, and on the seventh day, on that last day of the week, they do not do anything. They will not touch any technology. They will not turn on the gas in their house. They will not turn on the oven in their house. They just give up everything. But you'll see they go to their temple in the Friday evening to thank the Lord for everything. They also are sacrificing all of their material possessions, right, during that day. Whether it's money, whether you call them that I'll give you a lot of money, nothing, they don't do it. All sacrifices of work culminate in transcendental knowledge. But what is that transcendental knowledge? Right? What is it? That knowledge about that Supreme Lord Krishna. All of the sacrifices, the whole goal of that is to please Guru and Krishna and to get released from this material world, all of this suffering, to release all of this suffering so that we can go back to that supreme abode. So tomorrow we will read Slok 4.34 and understand that when Krishna was explaining all of this, right, what was the reason behind it? From 4.25, Krishna started explaining, right? Actually, even before that, from 4.23, Krishna started explaining but all these different kind of knowledge that culminates into transcend that or sacrifice that culminate into eternal knowledge, transcendental knowledge. But where do we get this knowledge from? Who will help us? We will discuss more about that tomorrow in 4.34. So with that, we'll end and then we continue tomorrow. Before we end, we'll chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Shri Shri Radha Vrindavan Chandra Bihari Lal Ki Jai Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Jai Jai Shri Radhe, Jai Jai Shri Radhe, Jai Jai Shri Radhe. Hare Krishna.